Welcome back to MMA Lockup, guys. I'm Bernard Oliver, your host this week. Chris is down in Central Arkansas. You guys make sure you say what's up to him. Wish him luck down there while he's spreading the word. Make sure you go like us on Facebook at MMA Lockup. Follow us on Twitter at MMA Lockup. Go add us to your circle on Google+. That's MMA Lockup, C. Matthews, and Bernard Oliver. Go find us on YouTube. You guys can find us everywhere. We're joined by our weekly guest here, Dr. Gary Furness. Doctor, how you doing? Working late over there in California, huh?
Yeah, we're doing fine. This is a target-rich environment for MMA coming up.
Yes, it is, definitely. And we were talking about before on the break there, the fact that Jose Aldo and Korean Zombie's fight went the way that it did. Jose was winning pretty handily before Korean Zombie dislocated his shoulder, but after the fight, we find out Jose Aldo's got a broken foot.
Yeah, I mean, there might have been some questions. Why did he not go to his usual? I'm going to kick you to your leg swells to twice the normal size kind of attack, and that probably explained it. I mean, for him to kick with a broken foot, that hurts, or if he keeps the broken foot planted, that hurts. So he's an impressive guy.
Yeah, that really shed some light. Really, I was wondering that same thing by myself when I was watching our friends. It was like, why isn't he kicking? You know what I mean? He went after him on those high kicks, but I thought he was going to try to destroy Korean Zombie's legs.
Yeah, I mean, it's an attack that's worked for him over and over, and Joe Rogan always talks about checking kicks, but frankly, that's one thing easier said than done. You see guys that defend shoots really well, but those nasty leg kicks like Aldo speed, that's a hard thing to stop.
Can Aldo ever come to a fight healthy? And he destroys people in a less than prime state, I guess I can say. Is he ever going to get to come to a fight healthy?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think really his last fight that he came in crystal clean on was probably the Uriah Faber fight, and that's 3 years in the third in the past. So that was like April 2010. So it's been a while for him.
Yeah, I mean, he's had weight cut problems, he's got injuries and all this other stuff. The thing is, he comes out and he still destroys people.
Yes, he does. But having said that, you don't think he's going to be fighting at 38, 39 like some of the guys. I think his shelf life is going to be shorter. At least I hope it is for his sake.
Yeah, definitely. Well, moving on to that event, I mean, I was really impressed by that event. Some of my friends were like, it's kind of boring, but, the hardcore fans out of us out there were really impressed. I mean, we talked about Amanda Nunes. She comes out, she KOs the finisher, the German Tank, in Sheila Gaff. And, I mean, really that's one of the first fights that got it going for me.
Yes, indeed. I mean, it's one of those things, you look at the Brazilian card, and I think we were both sort of guilty of that. There are not too many names that we really recognize. But yet the matchups were excellent. A lot of variety during the fights for different techniques, and really no boring fights. I mean, in some ways, I think Machida's fight might have been the least impressive of the pay-per-view card, and even it was not bad.
Yeah, definitely. That's a good segue into that fight, really. What did you think of that one?
Oh, man. Especially in Brazil, I thought there was no way that that Davis was going to get a decision. I was completely stunned.
Yeah, I was so blown away by it. Not only did I think that I thought that Machida won, I definitely picked Phil Davis for the upset, but I didn't think that he was gonna get that decision, because it didn't really like it was leading his way. I mean, I felt like he needed to do a lot more work towards the end of the fight to win, but to me, I guess it really came down to that first round.
Perhaps. I also wonder, though, if we're not seeing in the judging there some of the old he who gets a takedown wins the round type thing. It seemed to me that MMA 5-6 years ago, there was, with some judges, a guy getting a takedown was similar to a guy getting a knockdown in boxing, which obviously it isn't. But, I mean, I really don't see how Davis won the fight unless somebody really, really paid attention to the takedowns.
Yeah, I mean, those takedowns had to be what won it for him. I mean, I don't see anything else really. I mean, it's not that he wasn't working; it's just he didn't do enough, really. And Machida, he did a little bit, but those takedowns probably weighed pretty heavy in a fight that went that slow. But I thought it was very methodical and very tactical by both guys, and I love that. That was basically watching a boxing match to me. So I was on the edge of my seat.
Well, we're similar in that. It doesn't have to be a classic guys shooting from the hip for 5 rounds to make it exciting. I mean, I'll give you an example. I thought the Cormier-Frank Mir fight was really intriguing, and I know a lot of people were bored to tears with that, but the cage work, the Greco-Roman stuff, I really get off on seeing that at high level at times, and I think that was a case where there was a similar type slow style, but there was a lot to take away from there, and I do want to give props to Davis for winning, because we are looking at the one and only guy there that's beat Gustafson.
You're listening to MMA Lockup. We're joined by Dr. Gary Furness, ringside doctor for the UFC. Yeah, we were just talking about the Phil Davis matchup with Machida. I am one of those people. I like Phil Davis. I used to hate Phil Davis. I couldn't stand to watch him fight. He didn't like to get hit in the face. He just crumpled up, this big man crumpling up when he gets hit in the face. And his last 2 or 3 fights, he's looked amazing on the feet. His boxing has jumped to another level. I don't know what he's been doing. Maybe I need to research it. But I've been very impressed with him. And like you said, he's the only one to beat Gustafson. So I think maybe he is on his way to fighting John Jones, or I guess the winner of John Jones and Gustafson.
Yeah, I think if he has another fight against a top-level guy and wins convincingly, he certainly would be up there. The rumor has it, I did bring up Cormier, because Cormier, if he drops to 205, at least on the Internet, indicates that he may be walking right into a John Jones fight. So it'll be interesting to see how that turns out.
Yeah, I know Chris is very excited about both of those, really. He is actually, let it be told, that he's picking Gustafson to beat John Jones, and I know it's not far-fetched. No,
it's not. I mean, to me, I was comfortable that Anderson Silva was in big trouble, but I can't say the same thing about Gustafson at this point. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I'm super impressed with the guy, but I'm not picking against John Jones. There's not a person in the world that'll make me do that. I won't even pick against him if he goes up to heavyweight.
No, not at this point. I mean, Jones is he's a young, hungry guy, and I don't think we've seen any Anderson Silva, I'm going to clown around and just try to make you look bad type of behavior. So,
and
yeah,
if he was,
no money goes on Gustafson by me.
If he was thinking about acting silly before Silva got knocked out, he's not thinking about it now.
No, I would agree with that. I think that was probably one of those there for the grace of God, go potentially I.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I know John Jones he's been on the shelf for a while. I can't wait to see him get back in the ring. I'm not sure if Cormier, to kind of stay in the light heavyweight division, I'm not sure if he's making the right decision by trying to, call out and be angry with John Jones.
Yeah, I would agree with you there. That doesn't seem to be Daniel's MO. And having been fortunate enough to work with him 3 fights in San Jose, he's kind of like Fedor from the standpoint, nothing seems to get him riled. I mean, the guy, if you saw him before weigh-ins, you would think it was a guy going to the donut store to get a donut. I mean, not much excitement, no backslapping, no making faces, just completely calm.
Yeah, definitely, and it's one of those things that's it's kind of a beef that I guess kind of came out of nowhere. It kind of got started over something dumb, something that happened, he say, she say kind of stuff. But I'm guessing it's going to be settled in the ring here pretty soon.
Yeah, maybe so. But then, to be perfectly honest, John Jones may have a little bit of a S disturber in him. I mean, we kind of saw the same thing from Rashad Evans, and Evans is not exactly a hothead.
Mm-hmm.
So, but we'll see. It will be. It's certainly not a foregone conclusion that Cormier is going to be fighting Jones, but statistically speaking, I think that's the most likely outcome.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to this Alexander Gustafsson fight, and really, the UFC is finishing August pretty strong. Like we were saying, they've got 3 events in 1 week. I don't know if I've ever seen 3 events. I've seen 2. I don't think I've ever seen 3 UFC events in 1 week before in 7 days' time. No,
I agree with you there. I mean, it's pretty common for them to have like a UFC on Fuel and then follow it up with a pay-per-view. That would usually be on a Tuesday and Wednesday, then a pay-per-view. But the 3 in 7 days, I think, is new even for them.
Yeah, that first UFC on Fox Sports 1 card is stacked. I can't wait to see the Overeem Travis Brown fight. I hope Travis Brown comes out on top of that one. I mean, they're really stacking that first card. And I'm looking at the Campman Condit card. I'm really excited to see Campman and Condit fight too.
Well, I think that the Fox folks in the UFC are doing this right. To the best of my knowledge, that first card they're going to show all 5 hours of fights is going to be on network TV as versus the kind of thing where they do a couple on Facebook, then a couple on one TV station, and then a pay-per-view. So, yeah, they're going to have people glued to their seats, I think, for 5 hours straight.
Yeah, man, it's a miraculous thing going on with Fox, and they're really marketing and doing a great job there. You're listening to MMA Lockup on Fox Sports 1190, talking to Dr. Gary Furness here as we wrap up this segment and go into the next one. Doctor, it's been awesome talking to you as usual. You always provide a great insight to the sport. One more thing before we get out of here. We were talking about Chael Sonnen and him not being cleared because of the TRT issue in his fight with Shogun. Can you give us a little knowledge on that?
Only secondhand that it looks like their state commission is honest enough that they're in uncharted waters about whether or not TRT, A, should be allowed at all, and B, when it was potentially legitimate, and C, who's going to make the decision about A and B.
Where do you think
and they don't have much time.
Where do you think this kind of goes?
I think ultimately he's going to fight, and the commission's going to look at the fact that other states have accepted it. And at this point, Chael's got pretty good paper trail that he receives benefit from TRT.
When you're looking at a state athletic commission do these fights, do you think they ever get influenced a little bit by the UFC or fans or anything like that?
Fans, no. But from the UFC as being a 600-pound gorilla, yeah, I think, honestly, there is some there. I mean, it's one UFC pay-per-view in a major arena generates more income for a state than probably 10 small shows. So, I mean, this is the United States, and he or she with the big gun usually gets to set the rules, and I think there is some of that, yes.
All right,
and I'm not insulting any states. I just think that's kind of a realistic way to look at things.
No, yeah, that's exactly why I asked you that question. I mean, you're a lot closer to that kind of thing than we are here at MMA Lockup. Dr. Furness, I don't want to keep you too long. I know you're busy over there in California. Just wanted to say thank you for coming on this week, and we always enjoy having you.
It's fun. It's something I look forward to, so I appreciate you asking.
No problem, Dr. Furness. You hang on the line for me?
Sure.
All right, guys, that was Dr. Gary Furness, ringside doctor for the UFC out in California. You guys make sure you go like us on Facebook at MMA Lockup. Follow us on Twitter at MMA Lockup. Add us to your circle on Google+. We are, kind of using that now. That's a huge thing, I think, in the future that you guys really need to get on. So, haven't got on Instagram yet. Don't plan on getting on that anytime soon. But you guys make sure you go look us up. YouTube, everywhere else. You're listening to MMA Lockup on Fox Sports 1190.
MMA Lockup is for the most casual observer and the most ardent fan, ready to climb in the ring himself. Yes, MMA Lockup provides you with the information you need to truly understand the fastest growing sport in America today.
I can't wait till I get you on the floor, good looking. Hey, going hot, so hot, just like an oven. And